All right, let's go. Valerie Upham, the most amazing seller seminar, and totally came late to the mastermind session that she is a participant in with me. And she was showing awesome slides that were totally amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, Valerie, could you please share that with all my coaching clients?
Now, the results are I have set 9 listing appointments and I've taken 3 listings by doing 5 in-person seller seminars, which equates to $133,000 in GCI.
And how many people participated?
37 attendees and
how many registered?
27 households.
But it was, so just to go back, 5 seller seminars, was like 60 something people registered.
37 people attended, which of the people, that was 27 households. There's me and one other agent on my team, and I did most of the production. And so I sold 10 listings last year, the entire year. And 24 was a slower year. But right now, I've set 9 listing appointments from those 5 listed. I've already signed 3 sellers. 1 person did not sell with me. And then there's other people that the appointments haven't happened yet. And there's a couple people that they're waiting for. They're just making plans. Older people, older adults is my target audience. And so people are not all going to be ready today. Just to give you that. And go to the next. What changed mindset and strategy? Go to the next and then pause there. Okay. So in my 21 years of being a real estate agent, about 18 years of that I've been focused on working with seniors. And when I say senior, I don't mean 55 and older. I'm talking about an 80-year-old and somebody that is downsizing. They've lived in their homes for 30 to 40 years, and it's a big thing to overcome. So as I'm talking to you about these seller seminars, seniors may not be your niche, and that's okay. So Tom talks about the 7 Ds, divorce, people that are just downsizing, maybe they're empty nesters, diamonds, diapers. So there's multiple 7 Ds. Done with California is my new D.
Yes.
And so when I put on a seller seminar, anyone can attend, and I can help anybody wanting to sell their home. I'm just most passionate about helping these elderly people and their adult children get through the process, whether their parents are moving to a senior community or they're moving to live going across the country to live with their adult children, or they've died. And the process is the same with taking care of the house, whether they're living or they're not. So I used to do these, and I'm telling you the background because if I were listening to me, I'd be thinking, what about this and what about that? So I want to clear up some things so that you don't waste your time and do these same things. First off, I used to go to senior communities, so assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, independent living facilities. And I would do presentations, and I would partner with elder law attorney, estate planning attorney, in-home care companies, and senior move management companies. And it went great. But what happened is that because I was invited by the senior community, they sent out the invitations. So the seniors would show up and they attended, and I didn't have to spend a dime to get them there. But over, I don't know, a good 10 years, I only sold 3 listings in that time because I didn't have their contact information to follow up. So if they weren't showing up ready to go, I didn't get that sale.
Hey, a quick pause for my sponsor. I'm sure you've noticed that my YouTube channel has fundamentally changed dramatically. Thank you to my new sponsor, Sphere Rocket. What I'm about to share with you isn't just another VA service. Now, here's the problem with traditional VA companies. They're charging $1,700 to $2,000 per month. And what they're doing is they're hiring a $4 to $5 an hour and pocketing the difference. Sphere Rocket has completely flipped that model. They help you hire your VAs directly. So you're in control, and you just pay Sphere Rocket a flat fee for their recruiting, their coaching, and their support services to you. I now have 3 VAs on my team, and I'm going to 5, and I'll probably go beyond that. These are professionals who are working hard with a lot of experience. I've interviewed Brittany, who is my Sphere Rocket coach, and she's been guiding me through my first hires, helping me through the process and checking in with me on a regular basis. And there's tons of weekly live training, not only for us leaders, but also for the VAs, for them to improve what they're doing and how they're helping you. When you sign up using my link down below, you'll get access to all of my digital marketing library SOPs. And I'm also offering a weekly live training for leaders who want to build their digital marketing team, and doing training for the VAs on how they can serve you better. One of the things I absolutely respected a ton, what they basically said, we will give you a 45-day trial. You don't have to pay Sphere anything for 45 days, and they'll help you hire your first one. And then only if you're satisfied on the 45th day does their service fee kick in. Use my link down below. That supports me, and that can get you all of my digital marketing SOPs. And I can't wait to hear about how you're using this service to build your team.
And so it's great for practice, but not the best practice for you to get in front of people and make the connections with all of those senior focused businesses. So there's, pros and cons. Then last year, I put on 2 seller seminars early in the year. Only 2 people showed up. So I was just like, forget this. And there were several years where I stopped doing it. Then I heard Maureen at Summit, and I'm like, I'm going to do this again. I'm focused on seniors again. I did a seller seminar October 5th. I did 2 in November. And then I did 2 in January. And that's where I got my 37 attendees. I will tell you that I changed the message from homeowners to sellers. I was doing the event last year when no one was showing up at a really crappy library. So if your library is nice and it's easy to book at the times that you want, then your library could be a great resource, but mine wasn't. So I went to the Jewish Community Center, which is open to all, and I was spending $500 to rent the space. And I had an attorney come in as my guest speaker. And the first event, I had 16 people register, and I had 13 people register at the second event. I don't remember the rest. And less people showed up when I did the events when it was just me without the attorney. So there's 2 lessons there. One is, if you're going to do the event with an attorney, then you're probably going to have a larger attendance, because the key words that people want to hear or learn about are tax implications of selling your home, big keyword there, and then also estate planning for people who don't have their trust and they don't want to go through probate. But then what happens is they're less serious. Some of the attendees were less serious about selling their home and they just wanted the legal advice. It's still good to do an event with an attorney. I just wouldn't advise that all of your events are with an attorney, because you want to get people earlier in the funnel.
My instincts this year, after going through all of that and hearing you, my instincts was, I was telling everybody in the last couple of weeks, don't have a guest speaker. Don't want anyone else there. So that was my instinct said, because it's a distraction. Those guys ramble and bumble all over the place, and it's probably going to throw your marketing message off, and you're not going to get what you want. That was just my instincts. I had no evidence to say that was the case, but just listening to you now. First of all, yeah, but there's 2 things, and I know what you're about to say. If you want to do a home ownership educational campaign for the entire year, fine. That is a separate conversation. If you want to do a seller seminar to get listings, then do the seller seminar to get listings. Those are 2 separate conversations. And when we put them together and we're like, but maybe, and then this one, and then, no, just separate them. I would love to help you guys do a home ownership educational series to expand your brand. But if we're going to talk about probate and you don't get a listing appointment, don't be pissed at me. Don't think, oh, so all seller seminars don't work. No, you did not promote a seller seminar. You promoted a get your trust and attorney and your tax advice. Just separate. Seller seminar, no guest. You don't need anyone. You have way too much to talk about. If you're still insecure about, that's your problem, and your problem is pathetic, because there's so much to discuss. It's actually obscene. There's so many questions that they have and that you answer and you have amazing answers for, and you need an hour to 90 minutes just to get through all of the important stuff. And your slideshows are not necessary. These are my instincts. You don't even need a slideshow.
Yeah,
I don't even care if you have one.
Because I know it inside and out. I use a few slides.
Just talk to people about selling their house and all the crap that they have, and get all the questions on the table.
What I'm going to do moving forward is I am going to do 1 time a month with an attorney. The reason is because I can get referrals from the attorney.
Yep.
And I'm building relationships with those vendors that I choose to come in. The other reason is that no one is as motivated as I am, and I want to do as many events as I want to and not have to coordinate my schedule with the attorney. I set the dates and I invite the attorney to come to one of the dates that I've set. I'm not going to wait for the attorney to decide when they can come.
A home ownership educational series in which you are building a database of homeowners who appreciate and respect you and thank you for the quality resources and services that you offer. Brilliant. Yes. Completely separate than a seller seminar.
So then I'm going to show you some examples of my marketing eventually. And I'm also going to show you what the results were. But ultimately, mailing postcards or invitations to someone's home, something physical, is going to get them committed to attend the actual event. I've done a lot of social media posts and ads, and I'll show you. The thing is that messaging, if you're presenting, you're supposed to present 3 bullet points, and you're supposed to be very specific. But I did an A/B test for different messaging, and the everything you need to know about the home selling process actually got me more people in attendance than a more targeted ad. So that's important. And then there's my marketing samples. And you still want to market on social. It's very inexpensive compared to the cost of mailing. But like Jay D'Alessandro, he sends 100,000 postcards a month. I'm not there. My market is 5,300 in my farm. And then I'm rolling over and I'm going to be starting a secondary farm. But majority of people who are showing up, they already know and trust me. In my new farm, they don't know me yet. And then also on social, there's not that same connection. And people that RSVP online from seeing you on social, they're more flaky and they don't fill out all the questions. Even though I do mandatory on events, somehow they have a loophole where they don't have to put in their phone number and their address. And I really need that Go to the next one. It has the statistics. Okay. So I did do a seminar online and we had 4 people in attendance and I got 0 from it. But I had two clients, existing clients that were in there, and one, when her mother passes, I'm sure she'll use me again. And then also when I did the webinar, the 2 people I didn't know never showed their faces. And so I like these in person. I'm better in person anyway and connecting with people. Also, what changed from the first couple of events that I did, my follow-up wasn't great in the beginning because I was just getting this into my routine. And then in the latter, after seeing Terry Shodine at Elite Retreat was talking about the importance of basically asking, don't say, I did my listing presentation, what do you think? Go forward and say, how would you like to proceed? So I took that to heart. And when I did these events, actually she was after the events, but anyway, I realized I needed to ask for the appointment. So I created something called a home-to-home roadmap session. And I gave them this diagram of what it meant and it outlined everything. It looks real pretty. And I asked them at the end of the event, I said, if you would like to have a home-to-home roadmap session with me, we can schedule that at the end of this presentation. So stick around. I had 2 people, and it was a Wednesday. I'm not just doing Saturday events, which is what most people across the country are doing. Saturdays are great, but I don't want to give every Saturday away. And I want to do it during the week. And there are people who show up during the week. So
yeah, that was very useful when you said that, because I was pushing people to the Noreen Fullen Saturday morning, 10 to 12. And then you and Jen were talking about some different time constraints. So guys, I was very happy you brought that to my attention. You guys are going to need to test a couple different time sections and figure out what's the best one for you, your market, and also the season. But yeah, Valerie, go ahead. What did you learn about that process?
So on Wednesday was my best turnout. I had 7 people in attendance, 6 households, and 2 people set an appointment with me at the end of the presentation on that day. Nice. One person called me later and we set that 3rd appointment. And then there's a 4th family that they're not ready right now, but they want to meet in a few months. So I'll be following up with them. Great results. The January 25th and 29th didn't happen, but there's a thing I want to share with you. That's when my mom passed. But on the 25th, I had 3 people that were going to attend. 1 canceled because of other commitments. So I just called them and asked if they would like to either reschedule, go to another event, or meet in person. And so we made that appointment. My goal isn't to get them into the seminar. My goal is to get into their house.
Yes.
So I don't care if they show up to the event or not. And then this last week, I had an event this Wednesday, and I had 4 people that were going to attend. 1 was a set of 2, and they canceled because they wanted legal information. And the second person was a real estate agent. So I've often had realtors try to sign up and then we get rid of them. But this particular one was looking to join a team. So I'm meeting with her next week to try to see if she's a fit for my team. And then the 3rd person works at a senior community. She's a great new connection for me now because she does not have a real estate agent. She also told me about another senior community who needs to have a real estate agent services. So there's still great information coming out of these seminars, whether people are showing up or not.
So let's talk about that, because I'm hearing something that was a missing component. One of my great clients was so wonderful. She did all this marketing, bunch of people registered, and then she ignored them for 2 weeks. And I was like, you should call them and talk to them. And so Valerie, what advice would you give? I register between registration and the event. What should we be doing in between there?
So my team is sending an email, and it's from me. And it just basically asks them, says, we're looking forward to seeing you. And what about we asked them where they heard about us at some point in the process. I don't know. It's, again, my team's doing it, but we're asking them what is important to them. What are they hoping to get out of this event? So that way I know going into it what their situation is if they're willing to share.
Good.
And then what are you looking for?
Because it sounded like you had talked to everyone prior to this last event.
I called the people for this last event because two people canceled. And then I realized that the one was a real estate agent. So then I called the senior community gal and I just said, hey, it's just going to be you. Would you like me to come and meet you somewhere else?
Yeah.
And it was more convenient for her. So we just did a meeting at Corner Bakery.
Got it.
So I intervened before the event and I looked where people are coming from.
And which made me think you should send the email and call everybody prior to an event as just the best practice.
Yeah. And a Google Calendar. It's great because it sends them a reminder before the event. And then the Google Calendar is also, it's more likely that they're going to show up.
Yeah. Doesn't Facebook have an event thing? You know how Facebook...
Do you want me to tell you where all the ads are going? Go back to the spreadsheet.
I was just curious. I was on my list. There's Nextdoor, and then there's Nextdoor, Eventbrite, and then Facebook. They actually have kind of an event, like an area to post an event and host an event. And so I just was curious if you had done anything in there.
Yeah. So you'll look on the right-hand side. No, go up right there. It says source.
Yeah.
So
Nextdoor to Postcards,
Facebook
Instagram,
event.
Facebook.
Google Business Profile has an event section.
The Google Business Profile, Facebook, Nextdoor, and event.
As an event, and then posting is separate. So I'm doubling up where I can.
Oh,
And then we ask them how they found us, and those are the results. But some people don't remember. And then when they come to the event, I have a sign-in sheet, so maybe I can capture more information than they provided the first time. We ask them again how they found us. I give them a video release at the beginning, and then video and photo. And at the end, I do a survey. And the survey is critical because they're going to give you feedback, and feedback is going to tell you what you missed, if anything. What do you want to hear more of? So I immediately took that feedback and I started telling more stories. People want to hear stories, and I connected with them on a more personal level. I shared my purpose with the audience, like why am I wanting to work with older adults? And again, this could just be why I want to sell houses. My first boyfriend's mother was a realtor and they had a gorgeous house and I wanted her lifestyle. I don't know that I would share that here, but if you have a story, people want to know your story and why you. I've been a realtor for 21 years, so giving some credentials and then relating your own family experiences. I moved 10 times growing up, and I always had a good experience moving. And so I just want to make sure people continue to have a good experience in their move. And I've been through it enough times to understand what people are going through emotionally from different age levels. And then what I did is I inserted, so these are pieces coming up from my actual presentation to the audience. It's telling about our Compass Concierge program, where we'll front money for them so that they can get more equity out of their home and fix up the home, and then reimburse Compass at the end. I show them, you're going to see, 8 before and after photos. I tell the story about Bill. And even though he loved his cactus garden, and the person pulled out the grass.
That is so UTC right there. This is like so San Diego.
Yeah. But I tell Bill's story and how he got $215,000 more because the yard appealed to more people and we got multiple offers. So now I get to tell my experience without promoting myself too much. I talk about how paint and carpet and staging are your best returns on investment. Keep going. Go ahead and scroll down. And then I show them the as is, and then they spent $30,000, and then their gain was $265,000, and then what we did for the seller, just showing this used to have green shag carpet. So again, this is where people can envision themselves, because most people's homes you've been in, most people don't have the most beautiful homes. They're just living in their homes, right? And so this is giving the audience permission to say, oh, that's what my home looks like. And then I manage the process of helping them through the remodeling stage. And I have the resources. So I'm sharing this with them and giving them hope and pointing out, we took down the paneling on the wall, but we left the fireplace the same. Keep going.
Yep, I've been in that house right there.
What?
No, meaning that I've been in that style of house. Man.
Oh, I'm like, how do you know?
You know what I mean? This is just, he's been in that house. These before and after are really well done. Right?
And this shows.
You have really good contrasting before and after. And I like what you said. It gives people permission to go, oh yeah, that's what my house looks like.
Yeah, and it's safe for you to go in. This is a flipper purchased this. So I sold it. The seller chose to sell it as is. And then the second photo is what the flipper did. So if you go to the next page, next slide, this is another as is, and I show a little video, and you don't necessarily need to do that, but I show them, I talk about how they can sell their home as is and how we target the investors. And then so I talk about all the marketing.
Nice.
And then go down.
Yeah, that's really good. That was great.
And this is, again, back to the D. Develop your seminar around your just sellers in general. Think about the things you talk about in your listing presentation.
You mean the D's here?
Yeah.
Diapers, death, diamonds, divorce, diplomas, downsizing, and done with California. That's really good. Thank you for that.
And then go to the very end. We're almost there. Keep going. Then going all in on what works. So do A/B testing to 2 different markets. If there's my seminar questionnaire, and track your numbers.
I love that you did that. That was so good.
And we had to go back for the first 2 and get the numbers, but it told us a story. And I was advertising on Google through YouTube. It is this great commercial, this video, and we didn't get anybody from it. So we went all in on Facebook.
Nice. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So good. Questions, comments. What do you guys need? We can hold the comments. I like questions.
Hey Val, it's Zach here.
Hey, Zach.
I may have missed it. I've been off and on the call, but I've heard a lot of what you've shared. Regarding Facebook, how do you target that if you're just doing a particular, is it a particular farm area that you're doing this in?
No. So for Facebook, it was San Diego. And I honestly don't know what the parameters were because my team did it. So I wish I could I can find out and I can get you that info. But because I think it was a 20-mile radius, I'm going from memory, I think it was a 20-mile radius.
Yeah.
I think you can hold.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. It was a larger. So I'm sorry I missed a little bit of it. That would have probably answered my question. But no, that's helpful.
I think everybody
really impressive.
Testing a Facebook ad for their seller seminar. If you're not testing that, investing $100 or $200 in a test, I think that's a huge mistake. I would definitely be testing that. And I like the A/B testing. Test one message for $100, test a second message with $100, and see which one performs better. You know what I mean? That's the best $200 you're going to spend. right?
Yeah. And
Hey,
postcards
Val.
are expensive, and I had more people show up from my farm. So if you're not doing a farm, then you need to, I don't have an answer for you yet.
Yeah, context I
forward.
think is really important. Valerie's done a great job with the 5,500 farm. And what would you say in terms of the percentage of the people that showed up in the farm versus out of the farm?
Significant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the majority,
70%.
right?
And then maybe 40% RSVP'd from social, and only maybe 20% from social showed up. So actually 80% from my farm.
Got it.
Monica had a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so how long is your seminar? What kind of food do you have?
Mhm.
And how much prep time do you need before and after?
30-minute prep time before. We're going to Einstein or Panera, and it's from 10:30 to 12, and we're calling it a brunch. And then I set up the food where they can access it when they walk in. The seminar is really an hour, but when people get there at 10:30, I'm casual. I'm at the front of the room. I'm introducing myself to people when they walk in. Hi, how are you? Feel free to go get something to drink or a sandwich, and we'll get started here in just a minute. So I'm not starting at 10:30. I'm giving people a chance. We have signage outside of our office so people can follow the signs to find us. And I'm serving coffee. So it's great. You can do an Einstein and a Starbucks run, and you can order ahead of time. And then I also order an Instacart to have the food delivered to my house. So I'm not running around town getting all this stuff. And then my assistant picks up the Starbucks, and I usually just get one.
The box. Yeah.
Then the sandwiches, they cut in half. If you're going to do bagels, make sure that Einstein cuts them in half. Initially, I was doing this full spread. I had lox, I had turkey, I had bagels, of course, the cream cheeses, and I had fruits and the coffee and the orange juice, muffins, right? And then I take it all home, and we don't need all of that stuff. And it's less money. And so I narrowed it just to this big box of chips you can get at Costco. I have that, some chips in a bowl, and the sandwiches that are prepared and already cut in half, and they can just grab them and they're easy. I buy a small, like a bottle of lemonade and a bottle of iced tea. And by 10:30, they've probably had their coffee, but we have it at our office and I can offer it in water bottles.
What about in the evening, on these Wednesday evenings? What are you doing there?
Yeah, Lydia Gable is in Los Angeles, and she's doing a lot of evening ones. I have not yet. So she's doing dinner, and she is doing lasagna because it goes a long way, probably garlic bread, and I don't remember what beverages, but lasagna, Italian is easy, and people like that, according to what she said. Yeah.
I love lasagna. I'll be in a food coma.
And I talk about, by the way, Lydia had shared her original listing or seller seminar presentation with me. And so there's a lot that I didn't share today, but the rest of it is stuff you can get from KCM and market and what's happening with the market. I talk about commission. I talk about the NAR settlement and how compensation is being covered. So there's more real estate stuff that I talk about. I just shared with you what my niche information was. And so that's where you're going to want to pull in your own statistics and update it every time you do another event.
Yeah, that's what my thought is. Like, there's so much that we really should or could cover that would add value to the customer. And there's so much to discuss. That's why I was like, I have never done one, but like having a guest speaker is just like a distraction. So that was just my instincts.
I like to have the attorney there also. Like the one attorney, I did it with two different ones. The one attorney really didn't present. He was just there to answer a couple of legal questions to keep me out of hot water. Oh, I talk about Proposition 19 for those of you who are in California.
Yeah, capital gains, Prop 19, new commission compensation, what to do to prepare, what's the best timing, that's it.
And
Cost.
give people permission to stay in their home. You're not there to convince them to sell. You're giving them the information. And so when is the right time to move? And I say, I can't tell you from your personal circumstances, but what I can tell you is about the market and how this can impact your decision for your personal circumstances. Yeah.
I think actually it'd be really good. I think a lot of agents' presentation, when they talk about the when is the best time to sell, I think it's a little wonky. It's a little weird. So I would actually love for you guys to actually practice that and to do it in a formal way. We're not steering anyone in any direction, but there are unique differences. There's kind of pros and cons to every section of the year. But I could sell your home no matter what for the maximum value at any given point of the year. But there are just known pros and cons at each phase. I'm never going to list your home on the Thursday of the week of 4th of July and then expect a big open house attendance on the Saturday and Sunday. That would be stupid, right? So there's simple little advice that I give. I think we can all practice and do a better job of that because it starts to sound really commission breathy, right? So this formal presentation is really a great opportunity for a lot of you guys. I love what you said, Valerie, the confidence that you've gained. Doing these formal presentations allows you guys to really think about, what do you say? How do you say it? And if you're insecure with what I say and how I say, then get to work on it and go do it so that you can get better as quickly as humanly possible, because any delay in your ability to present eloquently and intelligently on some of these subject matters is costing you money every day that you're not good at it. So what are we supposed to do? Wait till you're confident or keep losing money? So I would love for you guys to continue to practice. What I respect a lot about you, Valerie, and just jumping in. And as you guys can all see, that she went through all this experience, and it's all the experience that now tells the true story. So all of you guys are like, someday when I get all the details figured out, then I'll do it. You already lost, right? Be a Valerie, do the first one, and just get going. Yes, everybody?
And Victoria asked, like she said, she had 8 people sign up and then they didn't show. And then how do I know if they're fake or not? So sending the email back out to the email that they registered with. And if they don't respond, Wednesday, the realtor wasn't responding. I didn't know she was a realtor at first. I have the app called Forewarn. And how did I get, I searched her name in San Diego and I got some phone numbers, and then I called a couple of the phone numbers until I got the person. And then I found out she was a realtor. You have to be a little bit proactive when you're not getting answers. And I require their phone number and their email. And to me, their phone number is so important to me because I'm a phone person. So I try to get that.
Based upon what I heard you say, guys, if they register and if you are not sending an email, sending a text, and trying to get them on the phone within 48 hours, my instincts tell me don't even bother. Why wouldn't we? Someone just raised their hand and said, I want to be on a seller seminar. Patrick, I wonder how I should get listing appointments tomorrow. I don't know. How about call the people that raised their hand and gave you their information on the seller seminar? Oh, you mean I should call them?
And I had more people attend the first couple of events that I did. And I saw that huge change from just 2 people to 16 and 13 because of the attorney. So if you need to boost your confidence and practice a few times, do that. Now I'm having 4 and 3 people sign up, and every person is a commission, right? You're helping a family. Saturday, only 3 people showed up. They were all from the same family. It was the brother-in-law, the son, and the 95-year-old or 90-year-old dad. And they want to list with me, but then they decided they're going to wait till he passes because of taxes. But one family, I've got a client for life from how our interactions have been. And so it's fun.
Yes, totally. I love it. Right.
I have a question about, you said not being in a hurry or whatever, because I did some and didn't have too much luck. So it's really good to hear this again because you covered some things I did. And I'm glad you talked about Prop 19 because that's really important in California where you can take your tax basis with you. What about reverse mortgages? Because I did bring that up, I think, in the ones I did. Did you ever talk about that?
I don't touch it. Early in my career when I got my SRES and you'd meet mortgage specialists, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it has such a negative connotation. And people, when you go to a senior community and you bring up reverse mortgages, they look at you like you are just scum of the earth. And I'm not saying that people who do reverse mortgages are, but it just doesn't feel good to associate with that. So I don't even touch it.
Thanks.
Unless someone in the audience asks me about it, then I can address it.
That's interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Valerie, go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay. Do you try to focus on the kids of the elderly at all?
Like I do. They are my target audience. Okay. So I label them caregivers because it's not just, and I'm the sandwich generation and I was a caregiver for my dad. So the definition of a caregiver is that your parents they need your help, right? So that's my target audience. I want people who are going to move now. And in my presentation, you didn't get to see it. I have a slide that says, be hip before you break one. Talk about getting your documents in order, get all your docs in a row instead of ducks. So I try to have fun with it a little bit too, but they are my target audience really, because they're the ones helping their parents make the decisions in a lot of cases.
On some of the ads that you run, do you focus on them like they say, wondering what to do with your parents or anything like that? Or are you focused just to the elderly?
So I've created several postcards and I've sent some out, but right now I'm getting ready by the end of this month. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm committed to it. I'm going to have a commercial completed with actors. And next month I'm committed to doing another commercial. And I say, so those are going to be with actors. And then all of my videos going forward, we're going to do Ask the Public. And Patrick, I'm sure you're all over this with telling them what to do, but just doing video content to go with my blogs. And then the video content is all going to be seniors. And I will tell you, for years, I've focused on seniors, but I've always been scared that if I focused on them only, that I would alienate my other clients. 6% of sales next year, I don't know if it's this year or next year, I think it's this year, are going to be people 60 and over. And our baby boomers are aging and aging. So whatever relationships you're building now, at some point in your career, there'll be a lot more listings. And seniors is a long game. It's not a short game. You have to have a heart for it. If you're in it just for the sale, then you shouldn't be targeting seniors. So that's my pitch.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I got it.
And I'm going to be talking about this at Summit at TomX.
Yay,
so I'm going to continue to gather data and get better. I'll have more information about commercials. On my Instagram, you'll start seeing more and more videos with me talking about this content.
Presentation is good. I like it. All right. Thanks, Valerie. You guys are awesome. Have a happy Friday. Hey guys, we got some exciting news. I've created a new training program with my brother, Tom Ferry. It's called the TAG event. Now, TAG stands for the Appointment Setting Game. These 2 days are designed to help you create a massive breakthrough in appointment setting. We have nothing but one focus. Over the 2 days from 8:30 until 4:30, we're going to figure out exactly what it's going to take to help you create as many listing appointments and/or buyer appointments as we possibly can. You've got me, you've got some of the other Tom Ferry coaches and some of the other great agents. We will help you with role play. We're going to provide you all of the prospecting phone numbers that you need, compliments from RedX, and we're going to give you all the training and the insights on how to explode your appointment setting. The first one is February 27th and 28th, so it's coming up at the end of this month. This 2 days may not be available, but you're interested. So down below, if you want to look at the details, get yourself registered, just grab that link down below, tomferry.com/tag. But if you want to be on the wait list and you want to learn more about the up and coming ones that we're going to be doing, I'm going to give you another wait list link down below and just put a little email there and I'll keep you up to date on what's going on and the next event. All right, let's do this. If you want to have an absolute explosive first half of 2025, then the TAG event is 100% a yes decision. All you have to do is just go down below and take a look at the tomferry.com/tag event. Click on that link, take a look at the details. Take a look at what we're gonna do, what we're gonna offer, what the cost is, where it's at. Get yourself registered, and I look forward to this being one of the absolute best events of the year where we create explosive growth in appointment setting for you.